Chase offers one of the best credit card systems for credit card rookies and veterans alike. Now today I'm teaching you how you can climb the credit card ladder inside of the Chase ecosystem, whether you're getting your first credit card or getting a premium luxury tier travel card. Now if we head over to the Chase website, there's a total of 39 credit cards for us to choose from. But looking at where we can start if we have zero credit experience, the one card we can turn to is going to be the Chase Freedom Rise. On the Chase website, this card is advertised specifically for people new to credit. With that being said, we can see here there's going to be no annual fee and no required credit history in order to get this credit card. And another smaller note, this is not going to be a secured credit card, which might make it a little bit harder to grab compared to some other secured ones from other companies. But assuming that you have no credit history or have not tanked your score in the past, the odds of getting this card I'd say are pretty favorable. And something listed right here on the website to improve your odds of getting this credit card is to have either a Chase checking or savings account with at least $250 in it. And let's say that you do get approved for this tier 1 credit card, there's great news because you can actually earn 1.5% cash back everywhere you go, which is pretty uncommon amongst the cards intended for people newer to credit. So the Chase Freedom Rise is going to be the only credit card that Chase offers on that tier 1 of the credit card ladder. So after you've built up your credit score on tier 1, you can probably expect to move on to tier 2 of the credit card ladder after around 1 to 2 years. With that being said, now let's move on to tier 2, which has plenty more options to choose from. So tier 2 is where a lot of people, including myself, have gotten their start in the Chase ecosystem. The reason for this, these cards are going to have no annual fee and offer some of the best cashback incentives on the entire credit card market. Now on the website, we can see that there's 13 credit cards that have no annual fee that I would personally classify as tier 2. And of those 13 credit cards, 5 are going to come directly from Chase, 3 being personal cards, 2 being business cards, and then the other 8 are actually going to be co-branded cards with Chase. And for anyone newer to credit cards or not really sure where to get their start in Chase, I'd probably recommend starting off with one of those 3 personal cards that they offer or one of the 2 business cards that come directly from Chase. But taking a look at a couple of our options, the first card I would recommend looking at is the Chase Freedom Unlimited. This card has no annual fee, can earn you 1.5% cash back everywhere you go, as well as 3% back on your dining and drugstore purchases, and 5% cash back on your travel through Chase. And in my personal opinion, I'd say that this is probably the best starting point in Chase, primarily because you have great multipliers, typically a generous sign-up bonus, and of course, no annual fee. Now our second card on this tier that I would recommend checking out will be the Chase Freedom Flex. This card has no annual fee, can earn you 1% cash back everywhere you go, 3% on those dining and drugstore purchases, 5% back on your Chase purchase travel, but you can also earn 5% cash back on a rotating quarterly category. And then our third personal card directly from Chase is going to be the Chase Slate Edge. Now, I probably wouldn't recommend starting off with this card unless you have a specific plan and are trying to get a super low interest rate. The way that this card works, there's going to be no annual fee, no cash multipliers, but every year you do hold the credit card, your interest rate will be lowered by 2%. And just taking a glance at those 2 business cards I mentioned directly through Chase, we have the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited and the Chase Inc. Business Cash. Do note that they are options, but for the majority of people, you're probably going to want to stick to the Freedom Unlimited or Freedom Flex if you want to enter Chase at tier 2. And as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a total of 8 co-branded credit cards you can get with Chase at tier 2. I personally would avoid these cards. Some of them will have value, but being truthful, the vast majority of them are pretty lackluster. And for a couple cards today, I will have in-depth reviews in the description below, as well as some sign-up links for a couple of the cards if you do decide to apply. And just like after tier 1, once you've established yourself with Chase, have built up a good credit score, I'd say you can move on to tier number 3 after around 1 to 2 years as well. We are going to start seeing some credit cards with annual fees that are going to give us higher incentives and some better multipliers. Coming from Chase, we're going to have 3 total cards, 1 personal and 2 business, and then there's going to be a lot of co-branded cards on this tier, which I would recommend checking out if you do want more value with specific hotels or airlines. For our cards coming directly from Chase, the main one on this credit card tier I would recommend is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now this card will have a $95 annual fee, offer you 5 times points back on your Chase purchase travel, 2 times points back on all of your other travel purchases, 3 times points back on your online grocery orders, 3 times points back on select streaming services, and 3 times points back on your dining purchases. In addition to those multipliers, there's also going to be a $50 annual hotel credit for your use. There's going to be an additional $150 of partner benefits and value. And the biggest reason that I personally carry this card and so many others do, you can earn 25% additional value on every single point you redeem for travel inside of the Chase portal. Not to mention that you'll also have access to 14 Chase transfer partners, which give you some of the highest point value redemption on the entire market. And just mentioning our 2 business cards on this tier through Chase, we're going to have the Chase Ink Business Preferred as well as the Chase Ink Business Premier. The Ink Preferred is going to have a $95 annual fee, and the Premier is going to have a $195 annual fee. And once again, those cards won't apply to most people watching the video, but if you are interested in a card for your business on this tier, definitely be sure to go check those out. And on tier 3, I mentioned we're going to have a lot of co-branded cards, especially with airlines or hotels. Once again, though, a lot of them I would probably avoid. If you read into them, there's not a lot of value to be gained. However, with some cards, such as the World of Hyatt card, there's a ton of value, and I highly recommend checking them out. For those co-branded airline cards, we're going to have a few options from United and Southwest. There's Aeroplan, British Airways, Aer Lingus, Iberia Plus, and then a few co-branded business cards as well. Then looking at our co-branded hotel cards, there's going to be one from IHG, Marriott Bonvoy, World of Hyatt, and then a couple Disney cards. Now, what I think is probably the best co-branded card through Chase is going to be the World of Hyatt card. With this credit card, you're going to have a $95 annual fee, but with this card, you're going to be able to earn 9 times points back, which is effectively 9% cash back on all of your World of Hyatt purchases. Not to mention, you're also going to get a free stay at a World of Hyatt hotel every single year. Now, not every card that is co-branded is going to give this much value. Some of them might top off at just 2% cash back, but I really like this World of Hyatt card and a couple of the other ones for hotels. But assuming that we haven't missed a payment and we've built up our credit score even more with Chase, you can now expect to move on to tier number 4 after another 1 to 2 years with Chase. But now let's talk about the 4th tier of our credit card ladder with Chase, and this is going to be for our upper tier credit cards. Now, our options are going to be more limited on this tier. However, with limited options, the value in each card is going to go up exponentially. So the main card on tier 4 that most people will look at is going to be the Chase Sapphire Reserve credit card. With a $550 annual fee, this is going to be the cream of the crop for our travel cards in Chase. Now, included with that $550 annual fee is going to be a $300 annual travel credit, as well as over $1,000 of partner benefits and value. And with the card itself, you're going to be able to earn 5 times points back on your flights purchased through Chase, 10 times points back on your hotels and rental cars through Chase. You can earn 3 times points back on all of your dining and other travel outside of Chase. You'll get 10 times points back on all of your dining purchased through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. But the best perk about this card, for every point you redeem for travel inside of Chase, you will get an additional 50% value on top of it. And once again, we're going to have access to those Chase transfer partners, and with this card, you'll actually be able to get into some airport lounges across the world. So there's also going to be a couple options for some upper tier co-branded credit cards. The first is going to be the United Infinite card, which has a $525 annual fee. There's the United Club Business card with a $450 annual fee. And truthfully, that's it for what's offered on the second highest tier of the Chase credit card ladder. Once again, I personally would stick to the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the Chase cards that come directly from them. Now, I don't necessarily hate the co-branded cards you could get on this tier. I just think, though, if you're going to be paying close to $500, if not more, in annual fees each year, you might want to get the most in terms of the credits and value and everything else included with the card. Now, unfortunately, tier 4 is where most people's credit cards journey with Chase will end. Even if you do things perfectly, you never miss a payment for 10 years, you're on top of things, you have a great relationship with Chase, the only way you can get to tier 5 of their credit card ladder is by being invited. And just to share a little bit of info on our coveted tier 5 credit card, this is going to be the JP Morgan Reserve card. Formerly known as the JP Morgan Palladium card, the only way you can get it is by being invited by JP Morgan, and the way that you can get invited is by carrying $10 million or more of assets with their bank. And assuming that you do have that type of money with JP Morgan, are invited to apply, you're still going to be met with a $550 annual fee. And what is speculated about this card is you can get 3 times points back on your travel and 3 times points back on your dining, as well as a $300 annual travel credit. There's said to be a lot of travel insurances and other benefits, as well as access to those Chase transfer partners, but truthfully comparing side to side, the Chase Sapphire Reserve we saw in Tier 4 actually is better in terms of the value you can get for it compared to this Tier 5 credit card. And by any chance you personally, or if you do know someone that does carry this credit card, be sure to let me know down below in the comments. And if not, comment down below where you are on the Chase credit card ladder. I'm personally on Tier 3. I have the Chase Trifecta, so I've just hit the Chase Sapphire Preferred, potentially looking up to get the Reserve in around a year or two. But that'll wrap up our list. As I mentioned, there's going to be in-depth reviews on a few of the cards down below in the description. And go ahead and sign up for any of the Freedom cards or the Reserve cards with my sign up link down below. It really helps and I'd appreciate it. If you're interested in another video on a general credit card ladder, not focused in one credit card system, check out this video right here. And if you guys could also go hit like and subscribe if you got anything out of today's video, I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.